Okay, so this is just a follow-up video on this fog situation, so-called fog, okay? Now, I am copying and pasting onto Paint, and I'm going to take it to exposure a few of the pictures that are coming up on this particular video, which is called "This Disturbing Fog Made Me Lose Sleep." Alright, I'm only 2 minutes and 40 seconds into this video. Alright, that's legitimate seconds. That's not seconds within seconds of seconds. I'm just saying. Okay? And the subject of smart dust, nanoparticles, has come up in terms of, people are thinking as to what this sporadic mist is all about, right? And anyway, this dude's talking about, he brought up this, okay? Industrial monitoring, like why would they use smart dust? Why would they use nanoparticles, okay? On a mass scale. Industrial monitoring, identifying potential issues with machinery before they cause major breakdowns. Healthcare. Now this is why I'm turning on the camera here, because, and I'm sure other people who are targeted, whether they realize it or not, have their spidey senses up when shit happens, okay, in terms of, all right, this morning, because I have a family doctor now, right, and I was going to get my personal files from the old clinic where Dr. Fasinski is still working there, and Andre's and Amari's files transferred over. It's the 31st. It's not a holiday, so I thought. But anyway, I started phoning the clinic where this new doctor is at. And I was getting an answering machine because they weren't open. Okay, I couldn't even leave a message. All right, it's 8:30 in the morning. Sometimes, these places, they open up at 7 in the morning. I wasn't too sure what time this place opened up. So I thought 8:30, okay, because it's hard for me to see people. So I go with my energy. Wherever my energy takes me, that's what I do. So I'm like, just because I have to fill out a form. And the way that it was sent to me, I couldn't use it. And then I had to download it, and then I had to put it on a flash drive, put it on my other computer, bring it up there, and finally I got it to print out. All right. So so I got a hard copy of this form, and, I'm reading, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know really quite how to answer this question. Maybe I should phone before I fill out the form, right? And make sure that I can put it into a PDF and then email it back to them. Or maybe it needs to be put in the mail, dropped off. I don't know. Okay, so 8:30, they're not answering your phone. All right, so after 9 o'clock, I phone again. Hey? Right? Okay. Now, Amari has an appointment with the Children's Hospital in January 20th. We're only on December 31st, okay? This is where the heebie-jeebies come in, okay? And I'll give you another example before I get involved with this video for a bit, right? All right. So they're not answering their phone. And I'm thinking, well, I don't know, maybe I'll try back in an hour or something. I don't know. So, okay, I get off the phone, and no sooner had I gotten off the phone, people, like within the next 5-10 minutes, like it was almost back. As a matter of fact, it was back to back. As soon as I hung up the second time trying to reach the clinic, after I hung up the phone, I got a phone call, and I'm thinking, they must have seen my phone number on their phone, and they called me back. So I was expecting to hear from the clinic so I could deal with this form. But anyway, no, it wasn't that. It was a recorded message from the Children's Hospital to remind me that I have an appointment in January on the 20th, right, for Amari's urology, because I have to get him circumcised, right? Okay, and plus because he doesn't walk and stuff like that, his testicles have to be dealt with, right? In terms of there's a procedure that they can do to because otherwise they go up into the groin, and that could cause future cancer for him. So they have to bring them down, right? Whether through surgery, with tying them off to keep them down, or if you choose not to do that as a procedure, then you end up having to milk them. And I don't know, I'm not always going to be around people. And same thing with the circumcision, like his foreskin won't go down. So it's a given, because if he ends up in the hospital and they want to put a catheter in him, the technicians, they can't do it, right? Because, his foreskin is not stretching out. I tried a cream, it didn't work. All right, so anyway, they're confirming this appointment on the 20th of January. Now, I had 3 appointments, people. I had the the urology for his, right, to discuss circumcision and that kind of stuff. And then we had the dentist for just a general checkup, right? And then we had the hip doctor, because it's expensive to go back and forth, right? And it takes a long time to go back and forth because it's far away. So I like to, and he doesn't like these appointments, so I try not to traumatize him with them. I don't care who it is. So if I can go back to back to back, be done with it, and it's done, then it's less trauma for him, because otherwise okay, so all right. Now, prior to this, what happened today, I don't know, last week, out of the blue, and now I've had this appointment with the dentist for well over a long time, right? And everybody's been making their appointments around the dentist. Last week, they called me up out of the blue and canceled the appointment. I'm sure it was a week and a half ago. It was before he got, I don't know, it was 2 weeks ago, a week ago. They called and they canceled the appointment for January 20th because they have too many emergency surgeries that they have to do, and therefore, just, right, call back another day. And I'm like, well, that's odd, because, right, how would you know you got an emergency surgery on January 20th when it's December 20th? You know what I mean? That's whatever, but I guess that's how they work. They had to book, there's only so many days they get the surgery room, so I guess they had to cancel out Amari. Okay, fine, no problem. So anyway, today, right, I make the phone call 2 times to the clinic to talk about this form to transfer my files, to which I've decided I'm not going to, because if I remember correctly, the clinic from where they're coming from, they want to charge 10 cents a photocopy. Oh my God, as if I want to spend $300-400 to get files transferred. I don't think so. There's got to be a way where the doctor, if he wants them, he can request them on his own, where I don't have to pay for them, because that's not fair, right? Never mind what that clinic that are holding those files have done to me and my family in terms of my dead daughters and my grandkids. Okay? All right. So I hang up the phone. They're not answering. And sure enough, the phone rings back, and I'm thinking, they must be in. They caught my number. They called me back. I was excited to talk to them to deal with this issue. And who was it? It was a recording to tell me that Amari had an appointment on January 20th. And I'm like, why now? Why are you reminding me now? Right, for this appointment? And then I call, because I was going to see if I could change the time of the appointment, being that the dentist canceled out. So it's less time to be at the children's hospital, because it was the middle appointment between the 3 appointments. And they're saying they're not even back into the urology clinic until January 6th. This is at the children's hospital. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll deal with it after January 6th. No biggie. The point of that story, people, I'm telling you, is when they say that this nanotechnology or smart dust or whatever has the ability to monitor people however they tap into us, I believe it. Okay? And you already know my feelings on my phone being tapped. Okay? I went, when was it? 4, 5, 6 months ago. I don't know when it was. 4, 5, 6 months ago. To the eye specialist. Right? I'm complaining to him. He felt bad. He offered to give me back my $325 that I paid for a lens that he should never have put into my eye, my right eye, because he basically messed up my eyesight. For what little eyesight I had left. Because in my mind, the lens that he put in my eye was inferior and it made everything more blurry. And the blurrier it gets, with the deterioration of my octave nerves, things get brighter and blend in even more so. Okay? And then you blur it up, and my eyes are deteriorating every single day. From the moment I wake up, I notice it, but I have to keep pushing forward no matter what until there's just can't do no more. And then I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. So in the meantime, he says, well, here, and I said, no, I'm not complaining because I want my money back. He said, doesn't matter, just take it, go buy yourself a new pair of glasses. You need a good pair. He told me to go buy a good pair of glasses with that money. So I said, oh, whatever. Okay, so I took the money. I never did because I know where I want to go, and because I don't ever really get out of the house, I haven't made it to that particular clinic where I want to go, and I'm hoping that I'll get like really good, I guess you can say, eye care when it comes to eyeglasses, because this place where I went before that was supposed to give me a referral before I had to go to the emergency ward in New Westminster, British Columbia, Canada, to get that referral 7 months after they promised me, this particular clinic, that they would put the referral in the next day, to which they never did. And when I finally phoned them and said, well, what happened to the referral? They said there was no referral. It never got put in. And I specifically asked them not to put a referral in for Gupta, right? Dr. Gupta. I'm just saying. And what did they do? They ended up calling me 8 months into the game, but by that time I'd already gone to the emergency on the 7th fucking month because nothing was coming through. This is 7 months without eye drops as I was losing my eyesight, people. Right? And they said, oh, you got your referral now. And I'm like, well, who's that? I already got an eye specialist. I had to go to the emergency to get one. Because you guys didn't come. Oh, it's Gupta. I said, no, I told you in freaking April. Not in October. I told you in April. Forget Gupta. That one there, you can't trust. That one likes to put 2 bottles of freezing agents in your eye so that when you leave the office, you get to your car and you're spitting out freaking 2 big gobs the size of a loonie or a US dollar, silver dollar, onto the ground that literally glows under the sun. So why would I want to go back to that person? I don't. And clearly you didn't follow directions because it took 8 freaking months to get the fucking referral. And when I called you 6 months into the game, what did you tell me? There was no referral, that you never put it in. So yeah, 7 months I went waiting for a referral that never was even put in. And then they call me up with a doctor I don't even want to see. Mindfuckery, people, okay? This is how they chip away. This is how they sabotage you. All right. And now, when I went to get that, before that referral, I had used that particular clinic in the past, right, to get a pair of glasses that the government covers, but they're cheap. Okay, whatever. So the point is, when I went to go see the eye specialist, when he gave me back my money and told me to go buy a good pair of glasses, because he knew something was up. Okay, my son told me not to cash it because as soon as he found out that I showed him the check. I said, look what happened. The eye specialist gave me back my money for a lens because my eyes are all messed. Oh, don't cash the check. And I'm like, yeah, well, good luck taking it to fucking court. You're up against $2 billion slush fund, as if I'm going to get anywhere with it. No, it's okay. I'll just keep the money, and when I have time, when I can get there, I'll wander into a clinic where I think I might get good service, and hopefully I'll get a pair of glasses that actually work for at least a freaking week before I have to go back and get another pair because my eyes are deteriorating every day. I'm just saying. Anyway, I get home from the eye specialist, just being cocky here, people. I get home from the eye specialist, and what happens the next day? Out of the blue. Haven't heard from that clinic for fucking over a year and a bit. They call me up as if I want to go see them. Oh, well, it's time for you to come in and get a pair of glasses. I'm like, yeah, holy shit, no, that's okay. No, thank you. Well, you're due, and I'm like, no, that's fine. I don't want it. Thank you very much. I'm going somewhere else. And I hung up on him, people, and I'll never go back there again. The point is, why are you calling me up the next day after I see an eye specialist that is completely at arm's length to you? He's a U.S. minister. You're in fucking Surrey. 2 different districts. Because something is tracking me. That's why. If it's not being done through my phone, to which I know some of it is, it could be very well as a matter of fact, speaking of spider webs, on my last video, I just went into my hall open up closet where I've never had spider webs before. I stick my hands in there because I got some little food prep in there, cans and that kind of crap, right? Not to mention my tools on the bottom and some crafts up on top, all right? I stick my hands in there because I can't see it, people. I can only feel shit, right? I can see a little bit, but you know what I mean? I ain't going to see no freaking spider webs, but I sure in the hell can feel them. They're everywhere. Top shelf, middle shelf, bottom shelf, on the floor, all over. Like they are in my freaking cupboards. Like holy crumb. Now, 2 months, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, I don't know what it was, I bought a whole bunch of little vacuums because, Amari, he hates the vacuum, right? So, and the keyboard, right? There was a particular, oh my God, what did I do? Oh, what did I do? Shortcuts. Oh my Lord. I think I have to, I don't know what I did here. Oh my Lord, what happened? Oh, okay, here we go. Okay. I bought it for the keyboard because you can suck up the dust and everything on the keyboard, and to give to Andre to learn to look after things, and if we need to clean the computer and that kind of stuff, right? And it's inside to give it a whatever. So it's really small. It was smaller than I expected, like real small. It would be perfect for what I need to do, though, when it comes to sucking up all these stupid spider webs everywhere. So I told him after I finished doing what I was doing the hall not even an hour ago, you better, is that little vacuum plugged in? Like, does it work or does it need to be charged? He said it needs to be charged. I said, well, you charge it because I need to go from cupboard to cupboard, freaking including hall closets, and suck up fucking spider webs. Like stupid. So something's attracting them. Never had this problem before, right? But do now. Why is the Children's Hospital calling me as I'm trying to get a hold of a new office that apparently I have a family doctor at, right? Too convenient. As soon as I hang up, the phone rings. I'm thinking, oh, the clinic's calling me back. They must be open. It wasn't. It was a recorded because I'm being tracked. Now, if it's in my body, in terms of a tracking mechanism, I can almost guarantee you it's in my teeth. Yeah, I do believe that because in 2013, after they took Andre illegally, okay, you know the story if you've been watching my videos, I started to have problems. Now, when I was 16, I fell off a rail at my grandmother's house and I knocked out a few teeth. They had to put them back in. And I did get a root canal on one of my front right side of my mouth in terms of a root canal. Well, the other one's not so much. So my teeth are, crooked because of that, right? Because they literally were basically knocked out. They pushed them back in, put a splint on them, and then did a root canal on one of them. All right, so either or. Years go by. I'm 62. In 2013, I don't know how old I would have been. But anyway, I was having problems on my right side. I went to the dentist, and she wanted to do a filling, do something, because it was starting to be bothersome for me, right? So she said she was going to do this, do that, and I said, oh, okay. Anyway, long story short, she did that, and for about 3 months, the pain, whatever was bothering me, it all went away. But going into the 4th month or whatever the hell it was, my ears started to ring. And they haven't stopped since. Nope. And that was another Punjabi woman who did that in terms of whatever she did to my tooth. I didn't have ringing in my ears until after I seen her. I'm just saying. So, because we're not like them. You know, that's the problem. They don't see us as important. They see us as inferior to their race and to their religion and to their culture and to their beliefs, their belief systems, right? They have no problem with fostering arranged marriages if it can benefit the family financially, right? As a matter of fact, they encourage it. But because they're in Canada, some of them maybe not so much. But do you think all of them follow the rules? Hell no. They very seldom date outside their race, and if they do, they kind of hide it by dating somebody that kind of looks like them. Could be a Punjabi, you know, but really they've got a different ethnicity in their bloodline. So, you know, but they look like they're Punjabi. They can put on clothes like a Punjabi. So therefore, when they go into the Punjabi community for a wedding, nobody questions why is that person different. So they're not targeted per se. And that's just a reality, people. Okay? I'm not going to make excuses for individual, I don't care who they are. I don't care if it's white people, brown people, yellow people, purple people, green people, freaking, I don't care who it is, for racist behavior. Okay? You know what I feel about Eleanor Gilding, the fine Catholic that belongs in a fucking dungeon for what she did to Mr. Bernard John Duncan, my stepdad, my children's Uncle John, a.k.a. Grandpa John, so that she could steal his money. Anyway, my teeth started ringing, my ears started ringing 4 months after whatever that dentist did. So I do believe that there's something in my mouth that is monitoring me. I do believe that my phone is being monitored, okay? And I do believe my house is full of something. I don't know exactly what it is, but the spiders sure love it. All right? So that's the point of this. Healthcare, monitoring vital signs, or tracking movement of patients in certain situations. Yeah, I go see the eye doctor, the specialist. He gives me back my money for the lens that fucked up my eyes because he's just being a nice guy and knows that I'm basically a poor person. And he told me to go buy a new pair of glasses. A good pair. He didn't say new. He said a good pair. He didn't solve the problem because the good pair of glasses ain't going to solve the problem because there's something else going on in there because the lens, in my opinion, I've been saying it almost from since day one, is inferior, but he'll never change the lens unless, of course, who knows? I mean, it'd have to be pretty drastic before that would happen. And, you know, I come home and the next day I get a phone call from a clinic that clearly knows that what they did was done with malicious intent as far as I'm concerned, right? Malfeasance. They didn't, right? So, but they're rubbing it in my face. Oh, come get some new glasses. I'm like, hell no, I'm not going anywhere near your freaking place. Never ever again would I ever go anywhere near your place. You guys are just terrible people, right, for what you do in terms of you're not professional. You set me up for fucking failure. You made sure I went 8 months without any eye care when it was in a dire situation. And when I did go in, right, personally to get that referral, because I remember I went in, it was April, it was like April 1st or something, like it was, right? And they were going to shut down because they were going to do some renovations, and they promised me they were going to put the referral in. They told me, come down now because you know we can see you now, blah blah blah, and yes, we will put the referral in before we shut down for the month. That's what they told me. So I went there. Then they sold me a pair of glasses, right? And then 6 months went by. I phoned him up. I said, well, how's this referral? Oh, well, we didn't put it in. Well, that's just great. Well, don't worry. So they phoned me back the next day, say, oh, we put the referral in. I'm like, okay. So I leave it for the month, right, or whatever the hell it is. Finally, I got fed up with it because I was going blinder and blinder, faster and faster. And I couldn't understand what the hell was going on. I went to an emergency ward specifically to get a referral. And by the time I got to see the eye specialist, I was down to 2% vision in my left eye and 13% vision in my right eye. And what people are looking at is what I look at every single freaking day. Hold on a minute. All right. So anyway, military surveillance, gathering intelligence in a covert manner. Now, when you've got energy weapons going through your yard and your recorder, your camcorder, your video recorder, because that's what I use, people, old school stuff, old school technology, it is what it is. And my camera captures it, and then because I use old school freaking editing programs, I go frame by frame, and then I can see holy crumb, what is that? Let's slow it down and look at frame by frame. Oh my God, within 3 seconds, within a second of a second. So if you got 60 seconds in a second, because that's basically what it boils down to, or whatever, it's either 30 or 60, depending on the recording speed, right? I didn't count exactly if it was 30 frames per second or if it was 60. Okay, so either or, probably 30 because it's old school technology, right? The point is, it's 3 seconds within seconds of a second. That's how I know this shit. It's not 3 seconds in a minute. It's 3 seconds within a second of seconds. Like, it's messed up. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but something like 4 times it's been documented in my house or outside of energy weapons. Who the hell is going to do that? My landlords? Well, sure, they're involved because I do believe these old rentals are just death traps. You know, move in, pay, put up with a bunch of bullshit, right? You know the story, and I don't want to get into it. And then get out. And we don't care where you go. Who cares if you become homeless? Get rid of your stuff. You'll never have another house like this because you're just a broke bitch, right? Get the fuck out. And if you're not going to leave, we're going to terrorize you and torture you and stalk you while you live there until you finally do leave. Refuse to fix things, make you pay to fix the fucking things. Whatever tactic they can use to run you out so that you fall flat on your face and then you become easy pickings for those body snatchers. Okay? And that's just a fact. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's quote unquote the so-called landlord who is running the energy weapons inside and outside of the house. They're involved, they know, they're participating. Government can't do what the government does to us if they don't have the organized religion to help them to do what they do so that we can, they can use us as a commodity, basically. Shimei was a commodity. Sierra was a commodity. Andre was a commodity. Amari's a commodity, right? I'm just a nuisance. A pest, right? So what do? They slap me down, shadow ban my channel, delete my comments, even though they're innocent, and I have a right to speak what I think, right? Even BitChute. I get like 250, 300 freaking views. Nobody comments. Nobody thumbs it down. Nobody fucking thumbs it up. I feel like bots are looking at my freaking BitChute videos. Bots, people, not real people, are watching my videos on BitChute. I have too many views on BitChute to not even 1 thumbs down or 1 thumbs up. Very seldom do I get comments, but yet I'm getting 300 views on a lot of my videos. It doesn't add up, right? No new subscribers. It's like I have a shadow account, like I'm a ghost or something. And they're faking the funk with their bot bot views. You know what a bot is, eh? A bot is just, it's an artificial subscriber, right? So because I'm not paying to use BitChute. This year I'm paying down my bills. My landlord wants me out in the streets. Well, I have to prepare. All right, I got to sell my shit. She told me to get rid of my shit because I'll never have another house like this. Well, I'll get rid of what I don't want, that's for sure. Try and let Andre learn how to sell things. At least he'll develop a skill. I don't plan on being homeless, but in light of what my government's doing to us Canadians, not the foreign investors, not the religious groups that are propping up what the government's doing through that corruption with the housing market, but with the Canadians that are left with holding the bag and no place to go as we pay, throw away our stuff, be, savages, right? Live up to their expectations of what they think we are so that they can feel good about themselves. The hell. So military definitely somehow is involved in with the point is somewhere there is military to one degree or another. To what level, I don't know. It's more than just municipal, right? It has to be, unless it just has to be, because the worst that I could see my landlords doing is getting spyware and setting up a few cameras so that they can spy on me. But I can't see them sitting up in their monster home at 84 years old, 82 years old, with their kids around the table, watching a video, running a joystick to run an energy weapon through my yard. However, I do believe that they're aware of it. I do that. I 100%. I do believe that. Just by the way they've treated me for the last 14 years of my life while living in their house. And then expect me to get the fuck out with no place to go after they basically milked me for every penny that they could get, as my family is decimated through their network of, partners in crime, basically. Because the only people getting rich around here are the Punjabis and the corrupt Eleanor Gildings that work for the government as a senior freaking employee, as a public union sector worker, and those kind of individuals that do perpetrate crimes against the public that they're supposed to serve, like the dirty cops in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada, who cover up murder so that they can facilitate illegal organ harvesting. And that is the bottom freaking line. So don't underestimate what's being said here. And that's the point. So the next time you get a phone call that gives you the heebie-jeebies, let it be a warning. You're being tracked. One way or another, whether your phone is tapped or whether your fucking tooth has freaking got some sort of little tracking mechanism in it through a filling, or whether it's freaking spider webs with smart dust in your cupboards. Who knows?
Here is something interesting. Like I said, more and more people are saying that this fog is making them sick. So I look up the long-term effects of this smart dust, and it says, the long-term effects of smart dust are currently unknown, but potential concerns include respiratory issues due to inhaling the tiny particles, privacy violations from pervasive...
Yeah. Amari has a seizure because of a drink that constipated him so bad that when he came down with some bacteria or whatever that was, maybe it came from the fog that showed up at our fucking neighborhood here, because it was pretty much around the same time when that all happened, in terms of Andre goes outside, oh, it's fog, but it smells real bad. It's like a forest fire. I'm like, well, you're not going to get a forest fire, and you're not going to, and it was foggy for over a day, like a full fucking day. Sorry for swearing, boo-boo day. And there are, you're going to get a little chimney smoke somewhere along the lines, maybe, but not really, because nobody's really been burning the fireplace, because it hasn't really been that cold out here. But yeah, soon after that, he got sick, right? But then Tisha's kids were already sick. But who knows? Maybe they came into contact with something outside that was floating around out there that wasn't necessarily quote-unquote fog. as if they're going to tell you, oh yeah, just move into that house, but let it be known that you go every now and then. We like to do Project Bluebeam, and you might see some weird creature jump over. Well, no, it didn't jump over the fence. It went through the fence, a chain link fence. It actually went through it, as if anything could do that, right? But there was a blue hue. So it happened within that 3 seconds of a second of a second. Again, 3 frames within a second. 60 seconds, 30, it was either 30 frames within a second or 60 frames within a second. Old school technology, probably 30 frames. So out of 30 frames, you only seen 3 frames where you actually seen the Project Bluebeam that went through the fence in terms of the imagery. But it was encased in a blue hue. That was just one particular energy weapon that went through my yard. That's not including the translucent little mists that like to fly around like fairies, fairy dust. It was more than a fairy dust, though. And this is where I know my landlords are aware of this, because the last time when my landlord came with her son, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, or whatever the hell it was, took me out to the back, tried to talk about some window that he was interested in, and then put me in the front, walked me to the front, positioned me, people, with my back exactly in the spot where I have documented energy weapon going through the grass, with them in front. So whatever was coming behind me, I wouldn't see it come. Not that you can see an energy weapon, because you can't, but a camera can. It would have hit me first before it would have hit them. But they had me in the exact same spot where that energy weapon had been documented to travel through the grass in 2012. Because it's done through conductors, right? It's controlled by a joystick, right? There's a name for it. It's called, what the hell is it called? I can't think of the name of it right now. But they reflect the beam back into the device, which they control the beam with the joystick. I have videos on it. Yeah. So this is how I know they're involved. Because it's been rough. It's been rough. It's been unfair. It's still unfair, but I'm trapped. Like with these spiders in the house. I'm trapped. Right? No escape. And that's all being done by design. Yeah.
Of data collection and potential disruption to the ecosystems if large amounts are deployed. This video was over 1 year ago, and this individual, he's talking about smart dust, nanodust, how it's all controlled by one central self-conscious AI, but the comments in this video are even more interesting.
It's also a concept called nanodust.
Nanodust.
Smart dust. Yeah, where where there is a central self-conscious AI, which essentially dictates all these nanobots.
I face being dizzy every day because of my eyesight, right? Nose is running all the time. It has been for the last couple of years. Certain parts, whatever I come into contact will trigger it, make it worse, right? I'm just saying.
This person replied with, what the smart dust does is act like a secondary subconscious to manipulate people's choices and actions, speaking to individuals in such a way that a person believes the voice in their head is actually their own conscious observation. This sounds like voice-to-skull technology. Another person...
Yeah, dreams being manipulated. Freaking right. How many nightmares have I had in this house? I can't think of one, not one, good dream, something positive. And I used to have good dreams, people. I'd dream about flying over mountains free as a bird, right? Walking off of buildings, levitating, we're talking like towers, high rises, walking off, levitating, looking down at the people, the rich, the poor. They're all looking up at me, and I'm just levitating. You don't even know what kind of feeling that is to levitate up so high in the sky like that. It's wonderful. And it's a wonderful feeling to be flying over mountains with your arms spread out, just whoosh through the valleys and whoosh there and whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Oh my God, so nice. I dreamt about founding some sort of a foundation where I generate $1 million for the community. I felt so positive and excited about it, people, and empowered that I went off and I spent well over 70,000. Probably, if you wanted to add it all up, a good 100,000 on a flop fucking stupid freaking foundation that the Punjabis and the fine Catholics and anyone else like them just spit on. Because that wasn't the agenda. That wasn't the political agenda to keep the whole community healthy. To make sure that everybody had a home to live in and food to eat in their houses, right? To make it so that the kids didn't become addicted to freaking methamphetamine and all this stupid shit that they're running out in the streets at age 11, 12, 13, 14. Who would want that? Unless, of course, they were scoundrels. Well, if you're fucking laundering money through the housing market so you can run around acting like you're freaking rich after the fact of destroying lives, then yeah, I suppose you would want to get a little 11-year-old addicted to methamphetamine. Not me, though. Hell no. And what happened in the end? A Punjabi took my freaking certificates and then refuses to give them back to me, still to this day. Yeah. Because he's a representation of his fucking community, which is a big... I don't know. Like I said, crawled out of that big hole. Big black hole with full of fucking soot. For as much as you do, right? You gonna throw my ass out with my vulnerable grandkids? One severely disabled that you probably have no damn respect for because as far as you concerned, he's nothing but body parts? Got him on a waiting list for some other kid to freaking have a life while he has none? Because that was a Punjabi who delivered him. How many times do you have to say the word Punjabi before the Punjabi's ears start ringing? You know what they say about when your ear starts ringing, people are talking about you. And that's just one example. That's not including what the freaking Chinese do. And like I said, don't forget the fine Catholics with their fucking dungeons, working in senior positions for government. I don't care what level of government. You know? The epitome of what is white and right in terms of, institutional racism. But the problem is, institutional racism is not just a color thing, okay? It's not. Punjabis practice institutional racism so they can get rich. As they cast stones at you, saying that, climbing up that mountain. You remember that dream? With me and my landlady at the top of the mountain, telling me, come on, you can do it, come on, I'm not helping you, get up on your own. Yeah, well, you can just keep on trying, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm up here, you're down there, good luck. And then just fucking looked at me. And I'm hanging off the fucking mountain. I wouldn't consider that to be a damn good dream. It wasn't. It was a signature of things to come. 84 years old, still chasing money. Why? Because it's in the culture. And where did it come from? That big dark hole. That's godless. Admit it, well, we don't believe in God, so we just live a good life and get as much as we can and do a little bit of fucking charity and call it a day. Yeah, well, the only charity you give is to yourselves. You gave to the children's hospital so that your children could benefit when my grandchild, dies. Yeah, that's basically how I feel about it, people. And yeah, with an attitude like that, just by actions, like Andre, he'll do something, he'll say, I'm sorry. I say, no, Andre, you can't keep saying sorry. It doesn't matter after a while because you keep doing the same mistake over and over again. Oh, well, and I'm like, I'll say, well, it's actions that speak louder than words. Right? It will be your actions that will speak louder than words. So I'll give you another chance to listen to what I have to say, do as I ask, because I'm trying to teach you something, And if you come back and do the opposite, because your mind is conniving for something else, no matter how many times you say sorry to me, it ain't gonna mean jack shit, because your actions already spoke louder than words. Well, it's the same damn thing, people. I'm a sitting duck in this house. I'm a sitting duck in this country. I'm a sitting duck in this freaking province. Hell, I can't even make a phone call to a fucking clinic to talk about getting my files transferred without getting a phone call not even 2 seconds after it wasn't, like, it was less than a minute. I swear they did speed dial and called me right back. And it was a recording for the Children's Hospital as they're canceling appointments for me. At the same time. Because, they're circling. That's what it is. They're circling. They're counting their days. They're rubbing their hands. Let them rub.
Asked, so how does the smart dust get into humans? And a person replied with, raining from the sky, aka chemtrails. This comment was 7 months ago, and today, after all these drones were seen in the skies, now we have this very unusual fog. This fog that looks like sawdust when you shine a light on it.
It's a project first dreamed up by the military to get information from the battlefield.
They call it smart dust, and the new
And a lot of these guys, I'm telling you, take it to exposure. Take it to exposure. Somebody needs to get serious about taking more images to exposure. You'd be surprised as to what you're really looking at. Okay?
technology may soon make it possible to keep track of anything, anywhere, including you.
Smart dust originated with DARPA back in the 90s.
Yeah, okay, so we know that it's real. No disputing that. We know that there are groups out there that somehow have come together for whatever strange reason, in whatever strange way that they have, excuse me, to commit crimes through that soft kill method, in terms of, you know, right? It's a soft kill. We're not gonna, we can put 2 big bottles of freezing agent into your eyes 2 times, right? You put 1 bottle in the first time, you put the second bottle into the second time, so it was the technicians who put the first bottle in. By the time I went to go see Gupta, Dr. Gupta, she put in another bottle of freezing agent, so that by the time I got to my car, after I finished seeing Gupta, I was spitting out big green glowing gobs of goo that was coming from the back of my throat because of whatever those people put into my eyes. And these are specialists, okay? Professional people, you know? And, I mean, that's a soft kill method. That was, as far as I'm concerned, it damaged my eyes. You can't tell me it didn't. But what are you supposed to do? You get in the car and you go, and you're like, holy shit, what happened? What was that? Right? But then you think about it, and it eats away at you. And then you start putting 2 to 2 together, and you start adding up, you know, the dots and crossing your T's, and too many instances. You know, you go to the dentist, another Punjabi. I'm just saying, or if you lived in an all-Chinese community, it would be the Chinese doing it. What brings them together? These kind of people. Well, maybe it's this shit that brings them together. Because they all operating on one plane. You know, like a plane, like, you know, like a dimension. They all seem to be operating on some kind of dimensional plane that gives them the green light to be deviant, right? If they would have put straight up arsenic or acid into my eyes, I would never even be able to get to my car. That would have been too blatant. They wouldn't want to get caught with that, so they had to do something that was subtle. That's why they call it a soft kill, right? They softly kill you, slowly but surely. They boil the frog, start you on warm, slowly but surely heat it up, right? You know, do the psychological, poke the frog as it's, you know, cooking, starting to cook. See if it's responding, right? You know? So we know this is working in terms of, we know that this stuff is real. And I'm taking a few pictures anyway, and I will take it to exposure. This was longer than I expected to say what I had to say, but it's so important though, people, because they want us to not talk about bad things that have happened to us. They don't want us to tell our stories and how they happened to us and why we thought it happened that way, or who the culprits are, who's involved, and because it is more than one group. And what brings them together, what binds them together, what motivates them as a group, because it's not everybody. Clearly, it's not everybody. There's the victims, and then there's the perpetrator. It's beyond the predator class. This is way beyond the predator class. And even if you wanted to label them as a predator class, what binds them together as a predator class, right? Pay attention. If you feel that you're a targeted individual because of that heebie-jeebie shit over a period of years, then yeah, you'd be a targeted individual. There's no way around that.
Powder-sized chip is something called the Mu chip from Hitachi. It's the smallest commercially available RFID system in the world. You can literally scatter this stuff like dust or embed it into a sheet of paper. It doesn't require...
I seen those squares and it reminded me of what was under Shimei's skin. It reminded me of what was under Shimei's skin when I took her dead face laying on a hospital bed for 9 days under exposure, and it showed those little fucking square pads under her skin to run their embalming fluid. Like, this is the stuff that we're dealing with, okay? If you've been watching my videos, you would have seen that video. It's as plain as day. There is no disputing it. But of course the government denied it and threw it out of court because they're as corrupt as the ones doing it in the hospitals. What binds them together? What motivates them? What programs them in terms of influencing their deviant behaviors? What motivates a mass amount of so-called quote-unquote humans who clearly are soulless to throw out hundreds of thousands, millions of people out onto the streets from country to country? For what? To live in a house? A monster house? To own 10 properties so they can go to their church, their temple, their mosque, their freaking, who knows where they gather? It doesn't matter. What binds them together? How do they get rewarded as a group? Maybe these are questions we should be asking.
Require a battery, flecks of computing power settling on your skin, ingested, monitoring you inside and out.
The nanoparticles are designed to go under the radar of the immune system, and so they are undetected in the body.
We have computing everywhere, we have connectivity everywhere, we have infrastructure that can compute those with new capabilities.
Yeah, but we're also free spirits, people, and you know what? We can fight back just by the very voice that we have. Okay? Obviously, bringing in some high-tech skills, better technology to really blast these people in terms of bringing it to exposure and putting it out there so that it can't be buried by YouTube staff and AI and any other corrupt government that wants to call the shots just because they want to keep the status quo. That body trafficking of body parts, that type of thing, because that's what it basically all boils down to. So there's less humans and more of, the counterpart of the human that's replacing the human. But they need the teeth in order to make their counterpart that they're building to look like us. But they'll never be us.
Like AI.
If you have enough data and you have enough computing...
It's like a fetish, a sick one at that, right? In terms of AI as a fetish, and it's a sick one, right? It's like bestiality. That's a sick fetish, okay?
Power, you can understand people better than they understand themselves, and then you can manipulate them in ways which were previously impossible.
Transhumanism is a growing movement that aims to use technology to...
Yeah, and they do it through dreams, whether good or bad. But since I've been in this house for 14 years, I've not had one good dream. Not one.
to modify our bodies, sometimes in radical ways.
She looks like Gupta.
To make them stronger, faster, and better.
All right, so this one here is a video taken from in Texas after this so-called fog cleared. It left behind remnants in this woman's swimming pool that she recorded. Okay? And it says morning of December 30th. Okay, that was yesterday, people. Today's 31st of 2024 in East Texas. Okay, calling in all reinforcements. Well, what do you think that means? People like me that will take the time to take this particular picture, put it into exposure so it brings a light to it in terms of you'll see it in a different kind of way. If you zoom in, okay, you copy and paste, okay? Seriously. I'll show you again. You copy and paste. You print. You go into your 3D, whatever, paint. I don't care. Just go into paint. Doesn't matter if it's Windows 7, Windows 10, whatever. Okay. You paste. Right? Okay? And because my operating system that I'm using as an editor is, what is it called? What is this? Oh no, this is something else. Oh, that was a different one. It's supposed to be misty out there. I don't know. So let's do this again. Oh my Lord. Okay, so we're just gonna click it on and click it off. All right. So now we're gonna print. I pushed the wrong one, that's why. So we're going to print it. We're going to take it to paste. Now, when you get it to paint, you take it to paint, and then when you get it to paint, you can zoom in and then crop it to get an even better look at it. Okay, I'm just saying. Right? You have to kind of experiment with this stuff. Right? Whoops. Oh my Lord. There it is. Alright. Now I'm saving this in a JPEG because the editing program I use can only work with that format because it's an older one. Right. So we're going to save it in a JPEG, and then what I do is I transfer them onto a flash drive, and then I move them to my other computer, and then I take it to exposure. That's exactly what I do. So we've got 4 pictures so far. So really, I should upload this as is, and then get back to my drone pictures. So this is number 5. Get back to my drone pictures, do a couple of them, do a couple more under exposure, throw in Shimei with 1 or 2 of her pictures, just to keep that out in the forefront, because it's just a matter of time before I get to those pictures with her being on that hospital bed to show you the orifice plug in the back of her mouth as they tried to convince us that she was alive when in fact she was not. And the orifice plug proves that. And her teeth are gone, and that's why I keep on harping on about the teeth. Yeah. Because they're gone. But beside that point, well, they took him out in the hospital because they illegally embalmed her and harvested what they wanted, and her teeth was one of the things they took. For their robotoids, why else would you take them? Right? There's no other reason. And so now that's been saved. So, and then I'll do a couple of these ones. That will be my next video. I'm not going to sweat it because I'm doing lots of stuff around the house right now. So, I can't get bent out of shape. But this stuff is important. Really important. It's too damaging to families. Seriously. My family didn't deserve what happened to them. And they sure in the hell don't deserve facing homelessness because of corrupt governments in partnership with organized religion where committing crimes is good business practices. Plain and simple. Right? How we fight against that? I don't know. You need a lot of class action lawsuits to keep it civil, that is. Right? That's the only way to keep it civil. But people, we're not hardwired to come together to do something like that. It seems like we're more hardwired to come together to commit crimes. And only them, the ones that commit the crimes, are the ones that are prosperous. Well, the ones that are not hardwired versus being tracked, right? The predator versus the prey, right? I'm just saying. Okay, so this is where you have to be careful. If you look in here, now this is the only, I'm going to copy and paste this one as well. If you look here, now does this look kind of familiar to you? For anyone that's hip to alternative media, I guess you could say, in terms of why did people get banned from YouTube and had to go to other uploading sites just to be able to have freedom of speech to do their videos? Okay, do you see this? Okay, then we've got another one, and we've got one over here. And if you see what's going on in here, okay, there's another one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know what's going on there. Do you remember when they talked about people's veins being clogged with a rubbery substance that was they couldn't break it up. They would give people medications that were supposed to remove blood clots from people's veins, and whatever was in the veins didn't respond to the medication. So embalmers, as they were embalming people, was pulling this stuff out with tweezers. I'm just saying. And they've done like tests on them with microscopes and special machines, and this is what it makes me think of. Yeah, I think so. Okay, now I'm not going to take another, right, because there's more on this video, so who knows what we're going to see. But the one that we just looked at, it was in a circular, right? If you notice, the thickness is pretty much all the same. It's pretty uniform in terms of thickness. But look what we got here. Same kind of situation. Same kind of situation. There's another one. This one is clearly crisscrossing. Okay? So this is this isn't random. This is not random. This is ice particles don't do this, people. I mean, anybody with any common sense would know that. Okay? Okay? I'm just saying. Maybe I should save this one. Hold on. Okay. So I did. I saved it. So that long one, it had a nibby. If you notice, nibby, 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 Nibby. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it comes from way over here that has a whole bunch on there as it goes, where am I? That way, which you can guarantee it's going to have the same issue. It just gets better. Now, this is yesterday, which would have been the 30th of December 2024, because it's only December 31st of 2024. That's how fast these videos are going up. This was recorded in Oklahoma. Apparently, there's supposed to be something unusual here. Is this it? Is this what we're looking at? I don't know what's unusual, but it kind of looks kind of misty there, don't you think? Maybe, maybe I should save this picture, and then maybe I'll do that, because clearly there's something going on in there. All right, so hold on. Okay, so I'm not too sure what's unusual about this, because I'm just watching it on the fly like you are. So let's just listen and see what's so unusual about this particular picture, outside of what I think I might be seeing there.
He has never seen before, and he says he always walks this path. This also looks pretty similar to what was seen in that pool in Texas.
So something in Texas, and this is Oklahoma, I'm pretty sure.
Alright, I want y'all to check this out. It's another day, it's just foggy. It's not been going in.
So this is where you want to take a picture, take it to exposure, and whatever's in the background will come to the surface. So maybe I'll do that. Hold on. Okay, so I did manage to save this picture. Now, when I look into the lens, sometimes if I go closer, I can see better because it's magnified a bit, right? But as we're looking at it right now, do you see how this is all kind of blended in and blurring up together? That's what my eyes are like, people, right? And it's not cool. Now, I come a little closer with the camera. Clearly, this is trees of some kind, bushes, I don't know. Something in the background. Here, where am I? Right here. Right, if I bring it closer, you can see these are branches. Right? Some sort of tree branch in here. Obviously, we can see that. Right? We don't know what's in the background, but when I bring it to exposure, we should be able to see a little more as to what is in the background, if there is anything in the background outside of maybe these things. But do you see how it kind of all, right? That's kind of like, that's how I see. I have to struggle with that every day, with it getting worse and worse and worse. Okay, something going on back here. I don't know what that is. Exposure should bring it out, though. Now we're just going to carry on with... we still don't know what's wrong with this, other than it's really so foggy. What else would you call it? Yeah, there's the tree.
All day, kind of like Christmas. Okay. Got up this morning. Everything seemed to be normal as usual. Come to check on the animals. And I start seeing all this white stuff on the ground. First thing I think, these two beautiful little new puppy babies, I found themselves a lot of stuffing, a lot of cotton, a lot of something like that. But I get over to it, and I don't know what this is.
Okay, so whatever it is, not only in the water, but it's on the ground. So I guess I should take a picture of this as well. Hold on. Alright, so that's the one I copied and pasted. Alright, now we'll continue with the video.
It's growing. It's some kind of hair.
He calls it hair. He said it was growing. Okay. I suppose you could say it's... right?
Growing out of the dog's poop.
It's growing out of dog's poop. That's what he's saying. So it's feeding off of organic matter. Or at least it's attracted to organic matter. Okay? It's those molecules that I was talking about, how they like to bind to each other in terms of the group of molecules that make a substance whole. Right? You need X amount of molecules to make something whole. You can't have one molecule of copper and say you have copper. You need a whole bunch of molecules to make a clump of copper. I'm just using copper as an example, right? But whatever this is clearly attracted to organic matter, all right, that is being expelled from an animal. Okay.
Everywhere they poop. At least I think it's everywhere they poop, and the chickens have scattered it, and this and that. But this stuff, it's just growing out of their poop. And I've never seen this before. And some piles are a little different than the others, and then check this out.
Some piles are different than others. Let's check this out. Here's another one because the chickens are running around too, right? All right, so I suppose I should take a picture of that too. Hold on a minute. All right, so before we go too far on this, right, I just want to mention that, you know, for these gated communities where birds of a feather flock together through that so-called gated community, and I don't mean like it's just one house with a gate around it, with another house gate around it. I'm talking about a gated community, okay? Like, you know, where birds of a feather flock together, okay? Back in the day, when was it? 2010? 2011? When Fukushima TEPCO in Japan blew its stack with the Fukushima radiation, and it got up into the... Oh my God, hold on. This is my son making an apple pie, wanting lard, Crisco, whatever, and then he came up for some cinnamon. So I had to get into a cupboard, another cupboard that I haven't opened in, 2 years anyway, with all my, you know, those kind of spices, right? I have different cupboards for different spices. Anyway, Andre said he didn't see any. And I'm like, well, no, you have to stick your hand inside there. Right? So, besides that point. All right, so we've got something that's feeding off of organic waste, animal waste at this point. Okay, I think I saved this. Let's just carry on. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I saved it. Hold on, I gotta put some kind of glasses on. Okay, so that's a pretty good shot, right? So I'm like going into 12 pictures here. Hold on a minute. Okay, as I was saying, when TEPCO had that meltdown at Fukushima, and the radiation got up into the jet stream, right? It crossed over the Pacific Ocean, and by April 15th, because I remember people, I was in Delta, which is a different district than me, okay? I live in Surrey. I was in Delta doing Delta spring cleanup with Sierra. And it was in April, around April 15th, I guess 2011 or something like that. And a torrent rain came. It was god-awful. It just started pouring down like crazy. And we got caught up in that rain. All right. And then, but it must have rained in Surrey as well. Because soon after that, within the week, everybody got radiation sickness. I'm telling you. If they didn't get rashes on their skin, they got sleepy, they were lethargic, they didn't want to eat, some got diarrhea, right? And it lasted like that for a week or so. Basically, everybody was affected. And I had something like 9 people living in the house at that time. So out of 9 people got, and because what happens is, you pick it up at the bottom of your feet, you're walking around out there, and it's, it's isotopes, right? There's a half-life of 8 days for cesium-137, or was it cesium-134? I don't know. Either or, different isotopes have different half-lives, and it came down in the rain, this radiation that accumulated up in this jet stream. And what I'm trying to say is that rain down in Delta and Surrey, it's like, if you notice rain, when you're driving your car, you'll drive your car and you'll be in a rainstorm, and then you cross the stop sign and you go to the other side of the road and you keep on driving, and there's no rain over there, but there's rain behind you because the rain came down in one spot, kind of basically in one kind of area. Well, there's another thing you need to think about with these gated quote-unquote communities. They may not be experiencing the same kind of phenomenon like we've got going here in this man's community out in the suburbs with the chickens and shit, right? Is it suburbs? Rural area. Rural, right? Rural. I think it's called rural when you're out more with the country, right? Right? Where the rich folks are, maybe they have blue roofs. I'm just saying. Like Lahaina, if you've been watching videos on any video server, regardless, right? At one point that was quite a lot of talk around what happened in Hawaii at Lahaina, right? And the things that had a particular blue didn't get burned up, including houses that had blue roofs. Well, think of a community where one gets rained on, or maybe the fog goes through it, where another community won't even get a drop of water, never mind fog. Why do you think that happens? Why is one community subject to be used as an experiment, used as a dumping ground? I'm just saying, right? Because I don't think a lot of this stuff is just random acts. I don't. So just keep that in mind. Just because it happened here doesn't mean it didn't. It happened in it. Just because it happened here on this particular property doesn't mean that it happened where the rich folks live in their gated communities. And I'm not pointing my fingers at rich folks, but when you're rich and you're not satisfied with the riches that you have, and you go out of your way to accumulate even more wealth by any means necessary, even if it means destroying lives to do it, then clearly there's something wrong, okay? And it's beyond biblical, all right? You can't blame the Bible for this one. So, do you think it's sprouting hairs? What do you think? This must be hay.
What is this? I get it. The fog and the dew and all that might have the hairs to appear white, but I really think they might be white. I don't know.
Is pure white whatever it is, but he thinks they're alive because he feels they're growing. Right? Because they're feeding off of animal waste, which is a byproduct. What does that mean if it's feeding off of it and growing from it? Ooh, that's kind of scary, don't you think?
Either way, I've never seen hair growing.
He keeps calling it hair. So it's fuzzy. Now, the only time that you would see that on poop of any kind would be when the poop has been sitting on the ground for quite a long time, where I suppose mold spores started to grow, and in that situation you could get hairs coming from it, because, you know, it's like anything that sits out in the elements long enough, but it would have to sit there for quite a while before that would happen. It wouldn't happen over a 24-hour period, that's for sure. No way. This is something else. This has been accelerated.
What the hell kind of fungus is this?
Fungus, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, right? Like I said, if a cat shits on the grass and it's been sitting out in the elements and it's like, you know, wintertime, that kind of thing, right? So you're not walking back and forth cleaning up, because sometimes cats will do that, right? Especially if there's whatever, and then, you know, it's been out there for a week or 2 or 3 or whatever, that poop sitting there on the grass, it will develop a fungus that will grow hairs on it, because, you know, you go, even dog shit will do that too, but it has to be out there for like weeks before that would happen, not in a 24-hour period where this guy feels that it's growing. Right? Does that look like hair to you? Maybe that might be a good one to copy and paste. Hold on. Okay, so I'm warning you now. When I kind of lost my day in terms of I should be doing other things, but I'm not. I'm doing this because this is important. When I'm find the time in the next day or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or however long, because I got to be in the mood to, you know, I have to discipline myself to take it to the other computer and, you know, and crop it or take it to exposure, record, and, you know, you have to remember it does a number on my eyes, and every day I face the challenge of waking up and being disappointed because they just keep getting worse and worse and worse, and, you know, there's nothing I can do about it, right? And but when I take this to exposure, I'm going to pull another couple of more of my drone pictures that I saved, and we're going to take them to exposure, as well as, I'm warning you now, people, I'm going to throw in Shimei's face with her teeth when she was alive into those pictures, into that video with exposure. Because ultimately, my end goal, after it's all said and done, as these anomalies are cropping up out of nowhere, from week to week, it seems these days, you know, it goes back to that robotoid coroner that's employed by the province of British Columbia, Canada, with a ghost account that falsifies death certificates to cover up murder and illegal activities like illegal organ harvesting, when it relates to my other daughter who died on March 28th, apparently in 2020, based on what the cops said. But they never allowed us to verify that fact that she was dead. Instead, they were just doing boo-boo mind effery and played a whole bunch of mind games to where they sicked on some freaking robotoid corner on me, and my camera happened to catch it, and I took it to exposure, and I can prove that the thing has motherboards in its hair. So if that's walking around posing as a coroner, getting paid by the province good money to be a poser, well, we can't be surprised. Because when I look back and I think about that picture, because it's like imprinted in my brain in terms of what my camera exposed to me by the grace of God, by the grace of God, by the grace of God, and by the grace of God. Okay? That thing was hostile. It was looking at me with this god-awful, I don't know, you can't consider them to be eyes, because exposure proved that they're not eyes. But whatever it was calculating in the back of its frickin' carcass, wasn't to help me. It was to hurt me and my family. With the blessing of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, being that they were there as handlers to that thing. So, if you find yourself in a position of being a targeted individual, you have a choice. You can either stand up and fight for human rights, including your own, and for the right for your family to have peace, liberty, and prosperity. Not that they'll ever get it, because, again, we're dealing with things that came out of a freaking deep, dark, black hole full of fucking soot, and it's more than one thing that crawled out in terms of, I think we're dealing with several different kind of entities where something binds them together. It could be this, for all we know, because their behavior is not normal, that's for sure, right? And so if you're wondering why I'm combining these pictures the way and throwing Shimei in there, because by default it's going to go back to Shimei, what they did to Shimei's body at that hospital, to which was illegal. And then they turn around and they targeted my other daughter, but they had already started targeting her when she was 11, 12, 13 with the methamphetamine by getting her hooked to methamphetamine at age 13 on their school site. Public school site, that is. And then they basically trafficked her for as long as they could. And when she finally was doing good, they sabotaged her so that they could really traffic at her for another 8 more years until there was nothing left except for what they wanted to harvest. And then they sicked a fucking Robotoid on me. And my camera, by the grace of God, grace of God, grace of God, grace of God, happened to capture it. And that's why I'm putting in Shimei in between these videos. Because there's a whole lot of Shimeis out there falling through the cracks. Not to mention Sierras. And they deserve justice, and they didn't die in vain. And whatever we're dealing with are nothing more than scoundrels. Okay? So I copy and paste that one. So now he's poking it with a stick. And if you notice, it's very thick. If it was something that was natural, in the elements, out on the grass for a couple, 2-3 weeks, it wouldn't even be anywhere near than what you're looking at here. Right?
I thought it might have been one of the baby rabbits. One of the rabbits got killed.
Something about the rabbits. I don't know. His video's very muffled.
I don't know. This stuff is weird.
Hold on. Okay, we're back. And if you notice, these people out on the farms talking about whatever, that one other lady on the other video talking about how the mist came in, it was there for like something like, I don't know, 6 days, or she couldn't see her barn or something. Her animals were squawking. Her birds were squawking. Can you hear these birds squawking? It sounds like they're in distress.
All over the place. All that white stuff. Where you see it? There.
Okay, so only so many pictures you can take, right? It looks like there's a patch of that crap there. I don't know. What is that? Is that an animal? Looks like it's got paws. Or is it that crap? I don't know. What's that? Is that a rabbit? Maybe that's a rabbit. Hold on a minute. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said that it's even in the rabbit poop. So I guess he's got rabbits that hop around, because that to me kind of looks like a rabbit. Right? I mean, I don't know. What is that? Or no, that's a dog. That's his little dog. Oops. That's his little dog. Okay. That's a little dog. You can see its snout and its eyes. I can see it through the lens of the screen of the camera here. Right? Because like I said, it's like kind of like a magnifying glass to me. Helps me to see better. So far, this stuff only seems to be attracted to organic waste. Animal waste. It has to be a particular kind of waste, it seems.
Here.
So now he's going in more into this forest. There's that white crap again. Where is it? See? Nobody's got time to be running around in their backyard, well, forest, and planting silly putty so that they can take a video and get famous. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna do that.
There are people out there also saying they are finding things in their air filters and they're warning to change the air filters. Take a look at this video from This Is Sus on TikTok.
Everybody, I just posted a video earlier this afternoon as I was driving down to St. Cloud here in central Minnesota, and I only did so because after 2 weeks of having this constant fog, literally 24 hours a day, I thought it was
2 weeks.
very bizarre because I've never seen that, and then watching some of the TikToks, a lot of you guys are experiencing the same thing. I got home and I watched a video just a moment ago where another TikToker showed her air filter, her HVAC unit, and I thought, whoa, this is crazy. I'm going to go ahead and check mine just to see if there's any correlation to that, and stick around because I'm going to show you something that is very, very bizarre, and I'm curious what you're finding in your unit as well. Here we go. So we're going to head over where I set this up because I think this is very telling. I change my filters about once a month, so this is about 3.5 weeks ago that I changed the filter out. Pretty standard. I can even see through the fiber still. It's not abnormal. This is what I've had in here since this started about 2 weeks ago. It's a gray, very, very, very thick.
Oh, do I take another picture?
A capture within these fibers. I don't know how to explain it. What I do know is this is what we're air exchanging, and this is what we're breathing. And then for contrast, here's a brand new filter.
I don't see very well.
What we would expect. I've never seen anything like this. This is a kind of a standard output when I change my filters. Look at that. You can't even see through it, and that is roughly about 3 weeks, guys. Check your filters. I'm curious what you find.
This next video comes from The Sky Is Falling 222.
Okay, y'all.
I look like shit, but I need to show you guys my air filter in my house.
Well, I guess I better get my air filter checked.
There's fog everywhere, and I've been feeling like respiratory issues for like a couple days now, like basically since the fog started. And I decided after seeing all the fog videos on TikTok, I would come and change my filter, which I do every month because I keep them on deck. I have like, ooh, Lord, I have like 8 of these, and they're expensive, but I keep them on deck because I like clean air. This is a new one. Let me show you what my new one looks like. This is a new one, okay?
Yeah, that's your standard air filter for your furnace.
Filter. Now, keep in mind, I just changed this filter like a month ago. Let me show you the one that I'm about to pull out.
So this...
Oh my God. Okay, we're back.
What? What in the actual... Look at this filter, y'all. I've never pulled out a filter this dark in my life.
Okay, so this one's dark.
This is not normal. It's black. Look at the new one. Oh my God, y'all. Oh my God. This is fucking crazy. I'm sorry.
Like I said, don't be surprised if people don't start talking about a whole bunch of grit in their houses where grit shouldn't be found. And shit sticking on shit. Like tar. You know? No, mind you, I do a lot of pressure canning in my kitchen, so... But still, it's like downstairs, and I don't do any pressure canning downstairs. It's everywhere.
This isn't normal, yo. It's not normal. This fog is not normal. This is not normal. Never in my life have I ever seen a filter like this.
Now, I could take that to exposure. So maybe I should. Hold on. Okay, so remember what I said. I upload on BitChute, and I get anywhere from 150 to over 300 and some odd views. My subscriber count never goes up. It always stays at 62. I don't get any thumbs up. I don't get any thumbs down. I don't get any comments. But for whatever reason, I'm coming in with an average view count of usually between 200 and 300. Sometimes it's 176, sometimes it's 323. I'm just saying, right? But no new subscribers, no comments, no thumbs up, no thumbs down. It's almost like these views are coming in from bots that have nothing more than to do than just to make it look like somebody's looking at my videos. Because personally, I think BitChute has been shadow banning my videos, faking the funk. We know YouTube shadow bans my videos. They bury my videos, right? They've demoralized my channel in multiple ways over multiple years, right? They participate in gang stalking in partnership with their corporate buddies that clearly reward them for bad behavior, the targeting of, right? I'm just saying. So, you know, at best I'll get 50 views on YouTube and 1 or 2 or 3, maybe 4, what do you call that, thumbs up, with Tamika Johnson Dixon coming in with her thumbs down and then using her boyfriend's fucking freaking cell phone to come in and do another thumbs down. And if she can get her friends to come in and do a thumbs down, they'll do that as well. But outside of that, like, it's almost like I don't exist when it comes to my videos because they're insignificant, you know, they're foolish videos, right? I got nothing of substance to show you or to say here, right? But besides that point, who gives a damn, right? It is what it is.
Never. I change these all the time. I have a ton of them. This is banana.
Okay, not to just be a conspiracy theorist, and that's my new job, but with the fog, So it's obviously popping up on my TikTok, and then I see this woman, and she's like, I'm just changing my filter because I heard somebody said that you should change your filter, and my filter was dirty or whatever. I'm telling you, I have a brand new furnace. It's like less than 3 years old. Every time I change it, I will only change it like once every 2 years. I did like a couple months ago, right at the beginning and I had to turn it on in November or whatever. Every time I change it, it's still white, which is why I only do it twice a year. So I'm like, it's not even doing anything. I'm going to turn this camera around. Can I just do that? This thing is gray. You know that it's usually the paper white as the paper. I'm going to try to zoom in. There's these little grains of white sand and just gunk in there.
Yeah, grit. Isn't that what I've been saying, people? And it goes through your whole house like a freaking windstorm. And it gets into every nook and cranny, into your cupboards, and the spiders like to nest in it. Oh yeah, wait till the spiders start moving in. Ha 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 ha.
I've never seen anything. I seriously have never seen anything like this. Like, it's wild. Like, I think when my furnace was old before I had to replace it 3 years ago, it was like gross and stuff, and it was just because it was an old thing. This is a new furnace. It does not get dirty. I don't know what it means. I don't know what to do about it. I'm just saying, I think you should check your filters.
So I have to say, I keep hearing people say that they are not conspiracy theorists, especially when it comes to these fog videos. And is it that much of a problem to think for yourself, to think outside the box, and not accept any official narratives that are given by the mainstream news and media? That we have to announce we are not conspiracy theorists. Like I said, people in different locations have been reporting that they have been getting sick after experiencing this weird fog. This individual on TikTok, PNW Beauty Crystal, does a great breakdown, breaking down the different locations that have been experiencing this strange fog and the people who have been having these strange side effects.
Okay, so yeah, when it rained down with the Fukushima radiation residue that got caught up in the jet stream, crossed over the Pacific Ocean, up in the mountains. I can't remember the exact location in terms of the air. And you know what the province of British Columbia, Canada did before that stuff came to the mainland in terms through the jet stream? They cut off all the radiation detectors. They shut them all down so that people wouldn't have access to that information in terms of how high the levels of radiation went up when the rains came. And there's a certain part of the mountains that got hit real bad, as well as Surrey and obviously Delta where I was. But not every part of Surrey or not every part of the mountains, just where the rains came down in isolated torrents. So it came down in a torrent, and we're talking torrent. It was beyond a freaking rainstorm, okay? It was a torrent of rain. Whoosh. But not over here. Whoosh. Over there, but not over there. I'm just saying.
So I have been going through the comment section trying to catch up on all the comments about the fog and the symptoms. And here are the states, the majority of the states that were in the comments that are saying that they have fog and symptoms that are...
Well, you can include British Columbia, Canada, because I'm really suspicious about this. Because I told you, Andre went outside, he said, oh, man, it's really foggy out there, but it smells bad. And I'm like, he says, I think it's fire. And I'm like, well, how much fog? And he goes, lots and lots. And it was out there for over like a day, he said. He confirmed it just a little while ago. It was outside for over a day. But he said it smelled like burnt wood. And I said, well, if it's a lot, it's, it's not fire. Maybe you're smelling a little bit from somebody's fireplace. But other than that, no, because, there's no fires going out, and we don't have... If it was forest fires, it wouldn't just stick around for a day, people. It'd be out there for... We get the smoke coming in from the forest fires in August, late August, not in freaking end of December. Heck no.
Accompanied.
So he smelled something, and that was before he got sick. So it's up for debate now. Maybe Tisha came into contact with something with the kids. Who knows?
And then I will go through the symptoms. So the states that so far that I have seen commenting the most are Oregon, Minnesota, Texas.
Oregon, I'm just across 20 minutes away, right, from the border.
St. Louis, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Vermont, New Hampshire, Washington.
Well, Oregon's a little farther to drive, but it's not a few hours, that's it.
Arizona, Idaho, Illinois, Maine, Georgia, Massachusetts, Louisiana, Wisconsin. The UK has actually been commenting. Kansas, England, Florida, Indiana, Iowa, Mississippi.
I'm only 20 minutes from the border.
Arkansas, Cali.
And if you drive to Tacoma, it's only a few hours.
North Carolina, Ohio, Michigan, Colorado, Utah, Nebraska, and there was more than that. But this does appear to be coast-to-coast fog. Fog is normal this time of year. I had about 1 in every 100 comments on here was just mean or them calling us stupid or saying this is normal. Yeah, fog is normal. I've lived in Oregon my whole life. I am a born and raised Oregonian. I'm used to seeing fog. I am not used to seeing fog for months on end with like an hour break during the day and that's it. I've been having to double up on my vitamin D. So this is not normal fog. And if you're not experiencing the symptoms that I'm about to list off, consider yourself very lucky. If you don't know what we're talking about, consider yourself very lucky and be an adult and just keep scrolling, okay? But here are the symptoms that so far everybody's talking about. We're having a loss of appetite with a lot of people losing weight unexplained. Can't sleep at night. You feel really tired throughout the day because you're not sleeping at night, but all night you're just tossing and turning, having weird dreams. There's a really bad dry cough.
Voice to skull.
But also congestion, which is weird because I've been congested, but I have a really dry cough, so it's very interesting. Extremely irritable. Some people are experiencing anemic problems. People are experiencing gut problems, stomach aches, diarrhea, nausea. I had some people commenting that they have jaw pain or headaches or both. There's just so many symptoms that are coming along. And the only thing that we all have in common from coast to coast is the fog. And then obviously a lot of us tap water, but that isn't necessarily going to be the same in every state. So the only thing I can associate all of this.
Yeah, the tap water's been tasting pretty rank. Like really rank.
With is the fog. So I'm going to keep following the comment section.
And it smells too. I noticed that last week.
I will keep updating you guys if I hear or see anything else, but so far that's the majority of the states and majority of symptoms that I'm seeing that are very similar from state to state, and the only common ground factor is the fog.
Brittany Jean on TikTok is also saying how she has become sick after experiencing this fog.
Don't mind the mess, but I don't know about anyone else. My throat.
Another one with the raspy voice, and that's what Tisha's been sounding like for 2 freaking weeks, man. Serious. Just as she gets better, it comes right back. I'm like, holy crumb, Tisha, what the hell is going on with you?
It's on fire. My eyes are all red. We've had.
You'll never procrastinate.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's Tisha's voice. Pushing on 2 weeks.
Tense fog here, and everyone keeps saying the fog's making them sick. Well, I feel like I'm swallowing glass. And am I the only one that thought the fog was insane? But anyone else getting sick? Because this is intense. My throat is literally on fire.
Yeah, that's what Tisha said. She had the same problem.
So stuffed up. My eyes are...
Tisha's my daughter, for those who don't know.
So...
my remaining daughter. I had 3, but I've only got 1 left.
Like, I feel like I have sand in my eyes right now. I'm on the struggle bus. I went down a rabbit hole on TikTok. And I'm not the only one that's feeling this way. But I feel like complete shit. I get it's flu season, but we've had here in the Midwest, Nebraska, fog I've never seen before. And I'm in my 30s. And I know I cannot be the only one that feels this shitty right now after we've had fog that went on for like 4 or 5 days, it felt like. Like, if you look at some of my previous videos I've posted, you can see the fog, and that's almost at like 10 o'clock in the morning, afternoon. So if you go to my profile, look at some of my videos I've posted of outfits of the day and leaving the house. I feel like I've been hit by a train. It's insane how I'm not the only one that feels this way after we've had crazy fog we've never had before. But maybe I can just be crazy. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but my throat is on fire, and that's what hurts the most. And oh, my chest, like breathing. Like, I've been up since 2 o'clock this morning feeling like this. Like, and I've had to work. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if anyone else is feeling this way and you're in the Midwest, Nebraska, Missouri, Iowa, Kansas area, but this fog was crazy.
Okay, so that video is pretty much at the end now. I think I got something like 15 pictures. I can't get bent out of shape with it, that's for sure. Alright, I kind of gave up my day for this. And I haven't even taken things to exposure yet. So, now what's happening, 1.4 million. This was an hour ago. I watched a previous video of this fella where 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours ago, he was talking about some megastorm coming in off the water where it's going to go in many geographical areas throughout the United States as it travels, and it's expected that power lines are going to shut down because it's a cold snap, but it's a mega cold snap. I'm just saying. And now I guess the power outage has begun. Warning, on purpose. Millions are already without power. So they didn't even have to wait, because he said in a couple of days it's going to catch up, this megastorm. So it's already started. Here we go. Something's happening here. I don't know what's going on here. Well, something blew up. He reports on war and what's going on overseas. Canadian prepper, that's what he likes to do. Right? So something definitely is happening here. Right? And then we've got the distraction over here, right, that likes to bash black women for views, but besides that point, alright, I'm just saying. Urgent. These 12 foods will disappear. Yeah. So which one do I choose? Let's see what's going on. Let's see.
If you want the performance of stainless steel.
Alright, let's hear the deal and then we'll end this video.
I have tried to make this damn video 3 or 4 times now. Okay, 7 or 8, 10 times now. Okay, and every time I get to the end of the damn video, I say something stupid. And then, on top of it, I always think of something wittier to say after the cut is complete. It started off as I just wanted to wish everybody a Happy New Year, remind them messages as follows.
Don't be clickbait.
The days go slow. The year
come on, yeah, you gotta watch these guys.
I ever get to have.
Sometimes it just ends up being clickbait with these guys. Right? You know, you put a picture there to make it look like something happened, and you're talking about wishing people a Merry Christmas. Like, come on.
Still operational after what we've been through in 2024.
Yeah, no. That was clickbait.
Philosophy anyways, just, you know, things are gonna...
Okay, I'm just saying. Mysterious fog. Right. Whew. Okay, so we'll just finish it on this one. With millions, 1.4 million without power before the megastorm even shows up.
And most likely power outages along with crazy freezing temps. As for my friends in Puerto Rico, nearly the whole island out of power. And I'm
Okay, yeah, Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico got hit first. So that's probably where the 1.4 million are without power, because as that storm is traveling, it went through Puerto Rico, right, and knocked out the power grid because of the freezing temperatures, apparently.
reading this could last for a couple days. How's that for a New Year's Eve treat? I'm going to give you more on that, but folks, how about that? Starting this new year with a real bang. Information that affects you coming right up. In fact, I am down here experiencing the power outage myself. And if you guys know me, you know that I'm always prepared. We've got lots from the Arctic that is about to put you in the same scenario with power outages, but we're talking about freezing temps, and this storm is going to last up to a month. It's projected to get really ugly. This is all.
Okay, well, take it with a grain of salt, because just because they project something doesn't mean it's going to happen, although something's going to happen, right? And not everybody's going to get unscathed, right? As a matter of fact, a lot of people are probably going to get hurt, right?
All over the news, and I've got a video that I just put out this morning on that, which can give you a little bit more insight. I'll leave it pinned at the end of this video. But as far as Puerto Rico goes, they're saying that the outage hit at dawn, plunging the island into an eerie silence of electrical appliances and air conditioners shut down before those who could afford generators turned them on. Folks, I know most of you guys are...
Okay, so, you know, anyway, be forewarned.